with scoliosis conditioning, and this is my sophomore video. Today I'm going to talk about posture. Spoiler alert, I'm not going to ask you to sit up straight. I'm going to talk about posture as it relates to scoliosis, and specifically folks with an upper back curve and how that shows up for them. There's a few things I want you to know. Number one, scoliosis is not only a condition where the spine is bending to one side, but there's also a rotational component. The degree to which the spine is bending to one side is as varied as the degree to which the spine is rotating. So both of those things are going to look different on everyone. Number two, the rotation is usually happening in the direction of the curve. So let's say you have a left-sided curve, the rotation is probably going to be going in the direction of the curve. Number three, if you look at a person's spine from the side, there is a natural curve inward, meaning in towards the center of the body, and a natural curve in the low back, and a natural curve in the upper back that is going slightly outward. It almost looks like a little rounding. So the reason I say that is because the curve in the low back is going to look different. It's going to appear different than the curve in the upper back, because the spine naturally goes inward at the bottom and naturally goes outward at the top. Okay, so what does this look like in a person with an upper back curve? So I'm going to do a little live action animation, and I'll be the puppet. So let's say a person has an upper right curve. Okay, so here's the side bend, and then here's the rotation. And then remember, we talked about that rounding in the upper back. So there might be a little bit of this, where that shoulder is a little bit higher and a little bit forward. What does that look like to the side? Okay, so here's the side bend. Here's the rotation. Then it might look a little bit like this, where you can see a little bit more of a prominence in the upper back. Okay, so why am I telling you all this? Because I don't want you to tell your friend with an upper back curve to sit up straight. Because if you do, it might just make them feel bad. And what you're probably seeing in their back is the rib cage, the bones. So what can you do? You can work on bringing the ribs together on the side of the curve, strengthening the muscles around the shoulder blade on the side of the curve, and opening up the muscles on the opposite side. And guess what? I've got some programs where you could do that. I'll put a link in the show notes. I also have a blog that I wrote about this, very short, if you want to read it. And if you're confused, just ask me questions. I love questions. Unless you're a troll, I don't want any questions from trolls. But I do want to hear from you all, and thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.